First, I just want to explain my gratitude to the Bahamian folks for many reasons. One of the first is just seeing what has gone on since the pandemic. I mean, I can't even tell you, it gives me goosebumps to see the resilience from the folks in the Bahamas, the resilience, the determination, the discipline and the unity to pull together when you went through all this stuff, which was you had Hurricane Dorian, right? You had a pandemic on islands, and you guys pull together through your faith and your unity. I just want you guys to give yourselves a hand. The BDA, DiNovi Associates, coming to the Bahamas is basically our thoughts were that there are already good applied behavior analysis services here, ABA therapy, but now the ability to reach as many kids and adults as possible is why we're here. And the other reason why we're here is simply because of this man and his wife, Mr. Ranard Miller and Miss Miller. When Mr. Miller and I met many times, the first time we met, he didn't really necessarily wanted to talk about some of the struggles he was going through with his daughter, who's on the autism spectrum. But I could just tell when we met, there were some things he kind of wanted to talk about, and it was ironic. It was like the universe came together, and it turns out that we provide ABA therapy to individuals on the autism spectrum, but also kids without disabilities, all right? So when he was explaining to me what he was going through, my heart, I could feel it, And this man is one of the most genuine people, and his wife, that you can imagine. Our goal today is to talk about applied behavior analysis and how lawful it is. So what I mean by that is, just like chemistry is scientific, just like there's physics, just like gravity is the way it is and the sun goes up and down. A lot of people may not know this, but behavior science and what controls and impacts human behavior is just like that. It's lawful. So for me, it was touching to know that there's a science out there. And I started practicing this with our crew. I started it 35 years ago. And the reason I went into that was because I had some of my own challenges. Everything from addictions to my interactions with family as a result of drinking and different things. I constantly was finding myself getting in trouble. But once I learned about behavior science and learned that there's steps I could take that are lawful, science-based, that impact my own behavior, that's when I was sold on it. Just to give you an example of some of the powerful things that behavior science can do, just like gravity, being lawful. It's everything from my stepson having self-injury, right? Hurting himself, to running out in the street, to jumping in the water when he didn't know how to swim. I mean, major safety issues, He basically would dart out of the front door, and most individuals with disabilities, some of the tragic things that occur are a result of drowning or being hit by cars. I'm just keeping it real with the statistics, right? A simple example of an intervention was that the serious nature of the running in the street from the house was a life or death situation. So an example of a behavior analytic, ABA therapy strategy, was we tried all these positive strategies, positive reinforcement, which you always want to do first, to get him to ask appropriately if he wanted to go outside, right? That wasn't working. We tried rewarding him for staying in the house and not darting, all these different positive strategies. But the thing that works, that was the most powerful, and it's usually a last resort, but it's a consequence that could decrease the behavior without and save his life. And it was very unusual, but the intervention there, the principles are solid. The intervention was that I literally would hide in the garage, to set the situation up, and the door could be cracked open. We had to make sure we could give a consequence to it, and then he would he would dart out. As soon as he saw no one was looking, he would dart out towards the street. And only once or twice I had to do this intervention, which was me popping out of the garage. It was kind of a surprise, and doing a timeout where he had to sit, and he would listen because it was unpleasant, you know. But that intervention was done twice. Ever since then, he would go to the front door. He would not run out, and he literally began becoming much more safer. What's good to know is that with steady application of certain consequences and then certain what we call antecedents, which are proactive strategies, you'll have predictability in human behavior.